It's Thanksgiving weekend, and we're spending a few days at my dad's house near Klamath Falls, Oregon. This is over on the dry side of the state. The valley floors are generally cultivated for farming, while the hills are more desert-like, adorned with sagebrush and the occasional juniper. We're not far from the southern border of the state here, and in fact, Mount Shasta in Northern California is easily visible on a clear day. The sheep aren't the only ones who are hungry this morning. My dad's property is situated on the edge of some natural, undeveloped desert hills, and the mule deer are frequent visitors here, finding the tender, succulent landscaping more palatable than the coarse desert growth. Despite the sparse vegetation in this area, mule deer are generally larger than the black-tailed deer we see in our lush rainforests back home in western Oregon. They may do some damage to the yard, but are always fun to watch. My son Colin and I want to revisit some backcountry we tried to explore back in the spring. My daughter Lucy, as well as my dad, have decided to come along too, making it the first ever 3-generation softroadingthewest excursion. Here you can see how far south we are. We're headed up to explore a plateau of national forest land along the eastern shore of Upper Klamath Lake. Klamath Lake is the largest lake in Oregon, and although it's surrounded by mountains and highlands, this whole part of the state is high desert. The lake actually sits at an elevation of about 4,100 feet, and we'll be climbing another 1,000 feet above the lake today. Countless times over the years, I had passed by this little national forest road carved into the cliffs looming above the lake and was curious. So during a visit to Klamath Falls for spring break earlier this year, Colin and I took an afternoon to check it out. The Forester was a little less trail ready at the time, but we managed. What I didn't realize when we set out was just how much elevation gain we would see. Even though there wasn't a trace of snow in Klamath Falls, we quickly found ourselves in deeper and deeper snow the further we went. Out by ourselves on all-season tires, we eventually had no choice but to give up and turn back. There are several little dead-end spurs that bring you right out to the edge of the cliffs overlooking Highway 97, Klamath Lake, and the surrounding mountains. We're headed up there next to see if we can get further into the backcountry than last time. It's late November, so there's definitely been some snowfall at this elevation, but it's also been unusually dry this year, so I'm hoping we'll be more successful at finding some interesting areas or viewpoints. Just getting up onto these cliffs above the lake was already spectacular, and everyone enjoyed checking that out, so at least we've got something good under our belts, regardless of what the rest of the afternoon brings us. Well, so far it's mostly just a drive through the woods. Unfortunately, some clouds rolled in and the light is not terribly inspiring. When it's sunny, the blue sky, red roads, and green trees can be satisfyingly vivid. It is a holiday weekend, and we've encountered a few people up here target shooting and driving around. I'm guessing as we get further from the highway, we'll probably find ourselves more on our own. Well, that's not ideal. I didn't come equipped to deal with large fallen trees. I guess we'll have to find a detour and try to get back on track. With me and the kids loaded back up after a quick potty break, we quickly decided to exact a little revenge on my dad, who pulled this stunt on me when I was a kid more times than I can count.
You got a lot of catching up to do.
There's much less snow than last spring, but we're nonetheless getting into snow that no one has driven on yet. This is my first time to get into any real snow with the KO2s, and they feel so much more planted than the all-season tires I had on before. In addition to being a tough, grippy tire that performs superbly on rock and dirt, they do also have the 3-peak snow rating. While still not as good as a dedicated snow tire, the KO2s, coupled with Subaru's proven all-wheel drive system, really feel fantastic in the snow. Not again. Alright, I'm gonna stop trying to travel via fun little trails and stick to the better road for a while. We're back on a rough little unmaintained route, trying to get to a spot that looked in satellite pictures like it might be interesting. Let's see if we can find it. I think this might be it. It's even better than I imagined. Check out these cool rock formations. The forest just stops, and this large rocky area is out in the middle of a meadow. Oh, I'm pretty happy with this little discovery. We're working our way back, and apparently we're too tired to properly focus the camera. The lake vista is looking nice in the waning afternoon light, so one final stop to take it in. Lucy always wants to shoot more photos with her phone or with the Polaroid she got for Christmas. She's only ever known digital cameras, so this is a new approach for her. I think she did a nice job of capturing our excursion in just a handful of images. With a last look south at Mount Shasta, it's time to get back to Highway 97, air up, and head home.